Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing today? So today is January 15, and we are going to be doing a neo-technical analysis. But before we begin, we got to get into a lot of theory, guys. To understand what is going on, the theory must be understood first. And the reason why there's been a lot of, or a lack rather, of neo-technical analysis is because of how difficult it has been to perform it. And I've actually been trying to tackle it for days now. And it's not only until this wave formed that we're able to make some further predictions on it. Parabolic movements are very unpredictable because of fifth wave extensions. And fifth wave extensions that occur, they can be super scary and very unpredictable, right? So yeah, so I'm going to try to keep this as professional as I possibly can because I think due to the nature of the and the magnitude of this specific coin, it's kind of imperative that we keep an eye on it and maintain some sort of level of professionalism since it's a very high market cap coin and we're dealing with a lot of people's money in general. So we have to make sure that we're very thorough and we don't say things. I'm talking about me, guys, not you when I say we, okay? That we don't say things that are not true, right? Because we have to hold ourselves accountable in some manner if we do this publicly, right? So let's get into some of the theory with Elliott wave. Now, an impulse move up always has 5 motive waves up, like this, okay? And now this is in a bull market, which is what we are in right now, a bull market. 5 impulse waves up like that. A really big rule in non-leveraged markets is that wave 4 cannot retrace to the territory of wave 1 right here, okay? So it cannot do that. It can by only a wick, I would say, depending on the time frame. It's very circumstantial. So a wick, yes, maybe 2 bodies, that's it, okay? And then when wave 5 goes like this. And there are a lot of other rules as well, such as this. The wave 2 and the wave 4 are corrective patterns, whereas waves 1, 3, and 5, they're motive waves up. Now, it's also important to understand that within these impulse moves up right here, there can also be 5 waves up like that in there. And there will be. You will see many different fractals and impulse moves up that go like that. There will be 5 and 5 in here as well. There will always be 5 for these motive waves up. Sometimes they can be difficult to count. Now within this wave as well, excuse the angle, okay, because it's very sloped, excuse the slope. Could be 5 waves in here as well, okay, and then 5 waves inside of that subwave. Now within these waves, they come in so many different ways, okay, but what they usually do is they change the alternation of the correction that it is. So what that means is it alternates. For example, if wave 2 does some sort of pattern like an ABC, perhaps this one will do something like an A, a B, a C, a D, and an E. And what this ends up forming, for example, is like a wedge, right? It can form something like that. It can form something like an ascending triangle, which is very bullish. Either way, they're all going to be a bullish type of consolidation for a zigzag up, right? It can form kind of, just for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to draw it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just don't mind the annotation for all the professionals out there. Okay, and then what you guys might know this one as well is a flag consolidation, right? That makes a bull flag where on this specific touch, regardless of what type of pattern it makes in there, it breaks out to the upside. So now that we have the basics covered, we're going to jump into a little bit of the analysis and cover more of the theory later. Okay, I'm just deleting it because I've got OCD issues. And one more thing that I want to also note is this right here for Fibonacci, okay? Waves 1 territory retracement, so wave 1 up, the retracement is only, for wave 2, it's only affected by waves 1 Fibonacci level retracement. For wave 3 going up, the wave 4 retracement only retraces to the wave 3 impulse wave up. But the very last one, the wave 5, retraces the entire amount. Because then what this forms is this. It forms an impulse wave 1 there, and this one makes a correction like that. And remember how this one did 5 waves going up like that? Well, wave 2 did what, if you guys remember? It did an ABC like that, we use as an example. Well, this one here always does some sort of ABC corrective manner. It can come in a zigzag, it can come in a flat, it can come in a flag, it can come as triangles, it can come in many different ways. But this always corrects the entire distance of all of wave 1, okay? That's the theory behind it. I hope that a lot of this is starting to stick because we cover this a lot, right guys? We cover this a lot, and the reason we cover it a lot is because we want to make sure that people understand the theory behind a lot of this right now. So I'm doing pretty bad and good in my trades, I guess? I don't know. It's doing not bad. What do you guys think? I'm interested in 2 trades right now for fun. I'm $273 up for ETP, but don't worry, I know some of you guys are going to comment that I'll get liquidated, but I can easily transfer more. I only keep a very specific amount in I only let myself play with about $8,000 to $10,000 total for day trading. So yeah, but I can transfer more. I'm not going to get liquidated, but I do think that ETP is gonna go pretty high right now. Check this out if you guys haven't seen ETP yet, okay? Check this out. Yeah. So this is ETP right now, right? It has this massive support right now, okay? And it's also forming a channel. If we look at it on a daily, for example, it's just a wick that forms the channel with bull breaks that we would consider it, right? So I'm playing a position right now, right here, for example. That's my profit line. I'm pretty up already, actually. I'm basically gutting for up to, you know, the all-time high, because if you zoom out, this actually makes an ascending triangle, right? A really big ascending triangle. So this is going to be my biggest play this year so far, and my first official swing trade, but that is forming something like that right now, right? So I'm looking to gain on this trade right now, literally 100% of my money, right? Because of regardless of how long it takes, it most likely is going to wedge up there. You know, worst case scenario, it takes up to, you know, sometime a little bit later, like in, who knows, it's going to make its way up there right now, probably pretty briefly, I think. And I'm probably going to make, I'm guessing like 6,000 on this one. 6,000. I'll add more to my sand very soon. Anyways, just want to check on it while you guys are here as well. So I've been making some pretty good money on Neo, and I hope you guys have as well. So now that we have the theory covered, we want to draw our Elliott waves the best that we can. And we want to deduce, by process of elimination, what is valid and what is not valid. So there are many different possible variations that we can count. We know that 3 is somewhere. Let's just assume for now that that's 3, okay? 4 and 5 going up like that, okay? That looks pretty good right there, right? Okay. Now, we're going to cover all the scenarios, okay? We're going to cover all the scenarios, and I've gone through all of them. There's 2 different scenarios. There's one scenario where wave 3 is not done yet, okay? And then there's a 5th one in there like that somewhere, where this one makes basically a 1. This is a 2, 3, and a 4, and a 5 up there somewhere, and then it corrects to 4, okay? That is one possible variation. Now, another variation that others would argue is this right here. Okay, so first of all, we're going to delete this. We're going to try to get a closer look at the wave count and see what is valid and what is not, first of all. And we're going to isolate the regions, okay? First of all, we go to the big picture. We go to the big picture at the very end, and we see that maybe this is definitely a region of something. Okay, right here. This whole region right here. I'm guessing there's a 3 up there and 4. Just like that, right? Okay, it lines up perfectly with the spikes. Maybe this is 3. Like that, up here. 3. Right around the region by the wicks. That's acceptable. But really, people will say right now that wave 1 is longer than wave 3, right? But wave 1 doesn't really start until about right here. Despite this here is all consolidation still, not an impulse. That's why it stays in the neutral zone right here, right? In the neutral zone. And then the breakout is about even right here. So this would be considered wave 1 here. And the reason why it is wave 1 like this, and we know it is a wave 1, is because it makes a leading diagonal. And those can only come in the first wave. A leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So this comes in a leading diagonal or a channel, right? A channel like that. Impulse waves, or wave 3, only comes in an impulse wave. It doesn't come in a channel. So it doesn't fit the characteristics. Therefore, we know that this is a wave. We know that this is a wave, and we're gonna call it all the way from over here, okay? This is where the actual impulse is though, okay? So now we know that from where the impulse actually is, where it breaks out, because it doesn't really break out until it gets above this horizontal resistance, right? Then that's how you know that that's where this wave 1 technically begins. Therefore, it is perfectly acceptable to say that. And now we see a wave 3 longer, and we see a very extended 5th wave. And we also see this right here. And now we say to ourselves, could that fit right there? Yeah, that could fit right there perfectly fine. An extended 5th wave in a diagonal. Okay, so now we know that that's a wave, right? Now, we also know that this looks like one as well, okay? But we don't know the actual origin of that one, right? Right there. Now, we're gonna try to think of a few different ones that it could possibly be. So I'm just gonna draw this in here like this. So here's one scenario where we literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 that's already formed in there, okay? So that's one scenario. I'm gonna go to the daily actually, like this. So here's another scenario as well. I'm gonna draw this one. This one seems to make a little bit more sense, I guess. Oops, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be deleting that one. Ah, that's fine. So we isolated just that region actually. Oh, sorry, why am I deleting that? Okay. Now, we also try to confine other areas. Now, let's say that this was 1 right there. That was 2. This is 3. That's 4. And this is 5. Does that make sense? But you know what? I like that. I've seen other people draw like this, but the reason why I don't like it at the same time is because the wave 4 overlaps heavily into the wave 1 territory, which I don't like. So But let's say that this was a valid count, okay? Let's say that that was a valid count. Then this one goes up like that, which now makes waves 1, 2, and 3. Well, now we ask ourselves, where's the wave 4? Okay? Where's the wave 4? There's got to be a wave 4 correction, and then a wave 5 up somewhere still, right? Something like that. Okay, now we're going to keep this in mind. Just, I'm just going to draw a box there, just as an example. Now, let's say that this was not a valid wave count. Okay, let's say that this didn't count, and it wasn't valid. And now we delete this right here. And now what we say instead is this. We say that, hey, let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, sorry, not zoom in, lock it. Let's lock it like this. And now what we're going to do is try to use a more relevant point. Let's say that that was a subwave 1 and that was a subwave 2 and this was a 3 somewhere, and here is a 4 area and this is a 5. Well, the wave 4 does not retrace into the wave 1 territory, and now this actually is a correction right here. So now this could actually become a wave. Okay, I can't click it, right? That now becomes a wave, and the only thing that's left is this right here to connect. Therefore, we now have 5 waves. 1, 2, I'm just drawing it outside of it. 3, 4, and 5, like that. And do we fit the rule by wicks of wave 4 coming into the territory of wave 1? Yes, we do. We do fit that criteria. Therefore, this one seems more valid than the previous one, doesn't it? Because these right here are basically extended fifth waves, right? Wave 3 was the biggest impulse already. And yes, we can see wave 3 as the biggest impulse already. And we can also confirm it almost. If you guys take a look at here, the peak of wave 1, okay, the peak of wave 1 right here is where an RSI peaks. There, that might denote where wave 1 is. The peak of this RSI is wave 3, and then a triple peak here for an extended fifth wave, like that. And we can even see the peaks right here as well. Do you guys see them? Right here. This is basically wave 1, 2, 3 is always an impulse up, and 5. And here's the extended fifth wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is on a histogram that we're trying to chart it as well. And here, if we even do it by this way, from where it levels off to a breakout, okay, like a low general point here, we have waves 1, the next low point where it levels off, right around here, we have a spike right here, where wave 3 is, where the low levels off here, so here, and we have 5. Therefore, this to me looks like 5 waves has actually formed already, and I can't see it any other way. Now, Hyjin Lee has done it a different way, right? He has done it the alternate method, where where he calls you know, he doesn't do it like that, put it that way. He does it the other way, which I'm going to draw here, right? He draws, this is wave 3, this is wave 1, this is wave 2 right here, okay? Like that. Now, I ask myself, right, like, it just doesn't seem to make sense, because, yeah, I just can't see it being like that. I'm gonna lock it, sorry, that's what I've been trying to do here. I guess I just do it like that. So, hold on, he doesn't call it like that. He calls it, I was just trying to see how he was doing it. He was trying to call it like this, where this is 1, 2, whoops, 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, and that's 5, like that, up there, right? 5. That seems to make sense as well, though. And then here you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Which makes only 4 waves right now. This is waves 1. We're not really talking about that part right now. So this is waves 1, that's 2, and that's 3. So that's a big argument right now, is which one is right and which one is wrong, right? So I'm on the fence about which one is actually correct. I'm more so, because you know, like this 5th wave right here, it doesn't fit well in my book for it to be that much of an impulse up for a 5th wave extension here. And it also, the third wave is very tiny, okay? It's a very, very tiny third wave. So if you start it from the impulse, like even up here to here, we can see right away that, well, basically wave 3 is the shortest wave as well, right? It's the shortest wave by a lot. So I'm not convinced that that's the actual wave count there. I'm convinced that this one here is the 3rd impulse wave up for, and this is the 5th one for a big push up there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I'm very, very convinced that my wave count is correct, where this is sorry, I forgot my wave count already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. And this one was such a strong impulse wave up that we don't really see a lot of it broken down, right? But if I zoomed in closer, we see it right here, where we see a super strong impulse 3rd wave up like that. Basically just a general area, right? Just a general area. A, B, C, D, and E correction in here as well, with A, B, C, D, and E in a flat. So this one here, to me, it just seems so much more right, doesn't it? What do you guys think? Like, I'm so on the fence. Like, do you guys see what I mean by the complexity of this? So now, this is wave 1. Okay, like we're taking a tiny wave 1 in there. This is wave 2. This is wave 3. This is wave 4, which does not retrace the territory of wave 1, and a super extended 5th wave. So I am so on the fence about which one it actually is now. Actually, you know, the more I think about it, like, I know I said I was really convinced, right? But the more I think about it, guys, like, it's a very difficult wave count, right? Whew, hard one. So here's the objective, to see which one is right and which one is wrong, okay? So if we just do it very simply, I mean, if we just do it very simply, wouldn't people just do this? Like, you know, to the first, not to the highest peak, but if you instinctively looked at it for the highest peak, what would you think? I would think this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would say 5. Is that what you guys would think? Or would you guys think this? If someone asked where the highest peak is, there, and then here, and like that, right? Like this area right here just doesn't seem like a third impulse wave up where it's and then it overlaps, like lots of it. It overlaps, right? And I'm not cool with that at all, guys. Therefore, I will have to say that this is now the very top. Okay, I'm gonna guess that this is indeed the very top, and like that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say, based on my projection there, that that's the top. Let's see if Fibonacci would work on it. Fibonacci, so people would first of all project a 1-to-1 extension, which hit it easily, or sorry, a 1618 extension, it hit it easily, and that one hit ridiculous extensions. So now we're going to see what kind of candles we're getting. We're getting like a hanging man candle right now, right? We're getting a hanging man candle. So this is the first wave. No, this is the third wave. That's where we're getting the highest peak there. And the fifth wave is a little higher. I'm super duper on the fence. So here are the two possible cases, okay? There's two cases. There's one case where this one does a major correction right now, okay? It does a major correction for the entire wave. So we were talking about Fibonacci extension before because of that. So let's say for case 1 right now that you're doing this. We're doing Huygens method, where he says that's 1, 2, 3, and then there's a 4 somewhere, and then a 5 up there, right? This one here also does not, oh, sorry, I was going to say this one here, it retraces 0.618 pretty much, but if I did it using my method, it retraces same thing, 618. So there's not one that's better than the other as well, right? So yeah, and the volume spikes, it's so arbitrary which one you use as well. So if you use this one here, this method of Huygens, this one here would actually give you a fib level, like we're going to target a general area, the 618 to the 0.5 region, right? And we don't know what region it's going to make. And then it makes a fifth wave because this one here hasn't even formed it yet, right? Or sorry, this is the third wave, and then it makes a fifth wave up there still. So if this were to hold true, guys, if this were to hold true, and this is the wave count, we will know what the wave count is in the next few hours to days, okay? And then we will be able to make some really good projections right now. So let's say that that was the case. We're going to use some extensions just based on this first wave, okay? We're going to use extensions from this first wave, and we're going to, and we see first of all what the third one got to, and what we see is that the third one got to above 161.8. Therefore, we are also going to target right around that range, more so to the middle range, I'd say, like the quarter almost, right around here. I'd probably say 230, a little bit higher than the 261.8 at most, so 230 I'd say, around there. So that's using Huygens method, but let's say that that is wrong as well, okay? Then what that's going to mean is there's going to be a really much deeper retracement. Instead of this box right here that denoted the wave 3, then what's going to happen is, if I'm right, and this is 1, and that's 2, and that's 3, and that's 4, and this is 5, okay? First of all, we confirm that, you know, that the uptrend we confirm that the uptrend is the impulse wave 3 is longer just by drawing a little box, right? For wave 1, where it ended, just confirming that wave 3 is longer because it's always the impulse wave up, and 100% it is, right? So now it fits all the criterias of wave 3 being not the shortest, because wave 3 is the impulse that goes up, and also wave 5, extended waves usually do a very, very parallel line, move straight up when you go from, when you draw your lines properly like that. So if this one was right, guys, then instead of a retracement, instead of a retracement of only from here, of just wave 4, where we land in that box right there, okay? Where we land in that box. Hold on, I drew that box wrong. So it would have been just this wave right there. And then the 0.5 to 0.618 fib level is right here, okay? So now I'm going to delete these fib, I'll leave that fib level there, okay? That was Hygen's method. But with my method, if we count it with this one right here, with the wave 1 beginning in there, and we go to the top there, okay? So instead of a fib level right here only, we get a deeper retracement, okay? So now the zones are very different, and ends up becoming a zone over here instead that's a 0.5 to 618 fib region. See, that's quite a bit difference, right? That's between $84 to 102 low versus 106 versus 121, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait to see what kind of pattern it forms, okay? And the pattern that it forms is incredibly important. Okay, we're gonna see if it forms something like that maybe, okay? We're gonna see if it forms something bullish, like a flag maybe, right? We're gonna see if it forms, not a flag, an ascending triangle. We're gonna see if it forms like a flag. You guys know what I mean. I don't want to draw it. Okay, I will draw it. We'll see if it forms like a bullish flag or something like that, right? But what we don't want to see, okay, what we don't want to see is this though. We don't want to see like, how do I put it? We don't want to see like big ABC corrections in a zigzag coming down and lots of sell-off volume, and we don't want to see it retrace heavily, right? If this is indeed only wave 4, right, like Hygen's method, then we should get a fairly bullish retracement based on the parabolic movement. It should probably retrace to, I don't know, I'm guessing well higher than 0.5, like between 0.5 and 382 at least, right? More so close to 382 and not 0.5. So that's my logic because of the parabolic move upwards, right? And then if we do land up in here somewhere, like we will for sure get we will most likely, not for sure, get a target of about $230 that we're gonna hit. Possible scenario, right? So we just have to see where it retraces to, where it levels off. But let's say that we see some sharp sell-offs. Well, that would mean that this wave is now more correct. And then we would end up landing somewhere in here instead, because it now corrects the entire wavelength instead. So we're going to see, guys, what kind of volume we're going to have for sell-offs. Then that's my thoughts. Possibility of hitting $230. But right now, we're still seeing very, very bullish signs, right? Very, very bullish signs. Still going really, really up there. But on the 4-hour, it's about to cross over. On the 3-hour, it's just about to cross over, guys. Just about to. Now it's already crossed over the 2-hour, on the 1-hour, but nothing is reaching very bearish zones yet, right? Nothing yet. But usually what happens, if it is indeed the very top, is that the wave 1 does something like that, and wave 2, you know, 3 like that, 4 and 5. And there's usually a long period of consolidation for wave 2 because there's tension, right? It could come in the form of something like an A, B, C, D, E like that. There's just tension to go up or down, but usually it ends up breaking down, and that's like a test impulse wave down, or corrective wave down rather. So guys, as it stands, my thoughts is that there is a scenario where it could possibly hit $36, right? And let's say, for example, that this is indeed wave 4, and I use that to get the $36 target. But let's say that this already did make all of the entire wave, then our target is actually really different. Let's say it hits the 618 region over here, then our target is actually very different. It's probably going to be actually around the same. That's weird. Huh. That's really interesting. So we're taking it from the first wave extension right here, right? Just based on how much this one went up and how much this one went up. We're seeing that this one could possibly hit $36 just by taking a conservative approach. But the reason why I'm taking fib extension here for just this entire thing, it's still hitting it, is because I'm going with a more normal approach around the 100 region. So I guess this is the average of the two ranges, more so on the low side over here, I'd say. So yeah, I do say that regardless of the retracement, and I do mean this, sometimes the retracement, you know, it can be not irrelevant, but because the two impulse waves up have been established, like, you know, this one and the corrective ones and the 3 have been established, the 4th and the 5th can be predicted as well, and they can give you a general range, right? And 4, because it can be predicted very well, you can get a very good idea of where wave 5 can go. So I'm using a range for the correction as well, like worst and best case scenario. So this is the actual range that it can correct, because I don't know what wave count it is, and that's the honest truth. So I'm just going to assume that it could correct at most down to over here, okay? Down to over here. And using a 1-to-1 extension, still, this is a 786 level right here, right? And this one was obtained from a conservative one. So this one is assuming that a next wave breakout will happen already, okay? Okay, this makes sense. So yeah, as it stands, I'm evaluating all the different scenarios, and I think that it's a win-win because a lot of the data is present already, and it's just a matter of waiting for this consolidation method. And regardless of the wave count that it is, it's only going to affect how long the consolidation takes as well, right? That's usually going to be a big factor. But the target still stands for the next impulse wave, I'd say, for just target 1 is all I'm saying, okay? Target 1 will still be $36 or $230. So if there was still a 5th wave up, it would be $36 to finish, or sorry, $230 to finish the 5th wave. But if this was like one entire wave that finished already, okay, that was one entire wave that finished already, and it's about to start its 5th wave up, okay, so this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to start its 5th wave up. If that were the case right there, but it's still really bullish, right? Sorry, if that were the case right there, then just target 1 for Fibonacci of probably the first subwave. That one would still be $230. But something we have to acknowledge heavily is that it is incredibly bullish right now, guys. Super bullish on the daily chart, right? But we do see it leveling off now, and we do see it down ticking. If you look closely, the next bar is lower than it, right? So that's worrying me. This one is worrying me too, where it's snapping. So those are my thoughts on NEO right now. I apologize if the video was extremely long. I just needed to be very detailed in my analysis for this one. So I'm just waiting, guys. I am waiting so patiently because I'm a big fan of NEO, day trading it. I'm waiting to see right now which Fibonacci region holds true. And there will be only 2 that holds, and we will be able to identify it easily. I'm seeing which region holds, right? There, or maybe a little lower. That's really all that's it's determining. That's it. Am I going to be interested in NEO between 120 and 140, or is there going to be, or am I going to be interested in NEO between literally 87 and 108, which is, so this is just the range. I'm going to keep my eyes. I'm not going to be interested in NEO right now because I think there's still some consolidation, right? But I will be interested in NEO again when it starts to fall below 150, and that's my target about for correction of that wave, regardless of what it is. So I apologize if I was all over the fence for this one here. It was a really hard TA to do, hence the lack of it on the internet, but I hope I provided some insight. And if something to take away from this is just watch out, okay? Watch out, because this could very, very well be the top. And if it's not the top, then you could be riding it to up to about 236 if we see it leveling off, right? I'm no financial advisor. It's just what I'm going to be doing for myself, guys, because I'm uncertain of the wave count, and that honestly doesn't happen often. But parabolic moves are incredibly hard, and this is one of the most parabolic charts that I've seen in a very long time. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed my analysis, you're welcome to, upvote it on Steemit. You're welcome to like, subscribe, share on YouTube, and also on Twitter. Yeah, I have a Twitter. I was just thinking of what I was going to say there. I got Twitter. I tweet a bunch of good stuff on there that tries to help out the public. And if you guys especially love it, you're welcome to donate something to my dog's cryptocurrency piggy bank as well. On that, have yourselves a great night, and thanks for watching the video.